Alright, I think... Hallelujah. Alas, the G-Pan actually works like it's supposed to be working. So, alright, now I can actually get back into getting my ideas on paper. So, let's see. Ah, glorious pressure sensitivity. Glorious. Okay, here we go. Let me just get some background music playing here. Soundtracks, RTAG, Rise. I kind of want to listen to the. To the soundtrack from our Minecraft server. The RTAG Islands soundtrack. Okay, here we go. So let me get my references back up. Let's see. References. So this was for the ticket booth station. Okay, so that's that. Bring that up. Also, I will need the Always on Top app. Software Always on Top. You know, I'm actually going to drop Always on Top right below here so that it'll always be accessible. Run that. Beautiful. Control Enter. Oh, this monitor has so much more workspace. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this should be fine. So what I want to do is I kind of want to sketch this stuff in, though. Okay, so let me do something like this. Okay, here we go. So this one's kind of open. I actually like this one a bit more. Alright, so here we go. Get rid of this. Now, there's a lot of dirt in this particular image, and it's just the way it is. So if we take a look at this, the table is right around here. So if I'm actually going to take the pen tool and just draw the perspective line, then I can kind of pinpoint the top part of this window. So right up there, this would have to be the top bit of the of the glass panel. Let's get all these rogue lines out of here. So there's supposed to be 2 ticket booths here, so one side by side. In fact, if I look in the perspective, this window is actually a little too wide, so I'd probably have to shrink it down just a notch. I could probably do this actually. Move the point over there. I think I'm transforming the... Oh crap! I know why. It's not working because I'm transforming the perspective line, not the vector line. Okay, so I see the okay, here we go. So I can do this and transform that, and it, okay, so weird behaviors. Screw it. I guess we'll just do something else. So what I want to do is I want to end this window right about here. Here we go. And then looking by the reference, the rest of the booth is actually right about there. So I don't need any of this stuff. Get rid of this. Brilliant. Can probably get away with zooming in just a little bit. Actually, let me take a look at the pencil. Yeah, the pencil is a little bit sharp, so just leave that as it is. Let's see, which settings do I have here? Enable airbrush mode, which I think feathers the stroke. Control size, which is right, because you are supposed to get thicker lines, but this also controls opacity. Okay, so I see. Okay, well, we can either have one or the other. Here we go. So now there are these tiny windows to each side. They're not, well, I mean, this thing is boarded up, so pretty sure that these would have to be something along those lines. Also, this window is a little too big. I could say right about here. There we go. That actually looks about right. Okay, so let's go ahead and actually adjust the rest of the sketch. if this is the top part, that means right about here is the top of this booth. And anything else is irrelevant. You know, let me actually just turn the hardness just a little bit. These tight spaces are a little bit tricky. So since that's the case, I'll probably have to play around with these settings. I see we've got a bit of a tangent line going on over here with the wall, which is not really very preferable. Because if we've got tangent lines, then that means we are gonna have a bad time telling what's where in three-dimensional space. Oh yeah, fixing tangent lines in the digital painting is a bitch and a half, unfortunately. See, I really like Flash, because Flash has the it's all vector graphics, so it's got like the line tool, it's got the square tool, and you can, you know, I could still do that stuff here, but in the end it's raster graphics either way. Okay, so let me actually go ahead and get rid of the blurry lines that I did with the brush there. Blurred out pencil. Just get some of these things in there. Okay, so I mean, this little thing is probably not as important, but you know, it's important to consider that this entire area is glass. So, you know, where's my pen tool? Oh, pen tool's gone. Okay, so I'm gonna have to draw a new focal, a new vanishing point, and do this stuff manually. Now, let's see. So if that is the center line, then this should be the arc. Okay. Alright, now one of the most important things in this type of deal is to actually include the references in with the concept art. So, you know, This is kind of a problem with getting... here we go. It's kind of a problem with getting carried away with details, that you can be spending all the time in the world on these things. But in the end, you're not going to finish the grand picture, so to speak. Okay, so I think with all of these lines in, so that would be the second booth window, and I think I want to actually get a little bit extra space over there. Just get these two lines in, and you know, just at least sketch in the ornament in there. Now, this thing has a very interesting shape to it, actually. Let me just... do that. There we go. All right, well, that should be just fine. Now, obviously, we have the extra space here. Yeah, let's just kind of get that line in there. I wish I could get a bit more loose with this kind of stuff. Okay, now there was a lot of... let's see, so what I want to do now, there was a lot of copying and pasting going on with the rails, so that's why it's a little dirty, which is technically incorrect. It was an incorrect way to do this stuff, but, you know, it's all done now. Here's what I want to do. I actually want to do place, and I would like to I'd like to place the reference for this general area over there into this concept art piece. Let's see, where did I place the reference? Here we go. Ticket booth station. So this I would like to place inside. Now, here's a neat little trick. So what I want to do, is considering this is just concept art, I'm going to go ahead and increase the size of the canvas. And I'm going to do it by 200%. Yes. So here's the neat little trick. If you have your imported file, if you leave it as a symbol, which is basically, like, if you take a look at the icon here, it has a little box. So it says it's a smart object thumbnail. So essentially what this means is that this is not like rasterized imagery. This is basically a container for the rasterized imagery. So what happens is I can take this container and I can rescale it. And you see, well, now that I'm working with the with that point, keeps throwing me out of whack. Anyways, if I can resize it to the very small, tiny proportion, and then scale it back, and it's gonna retain its full resolution. Whereas if I were to take this and rasterize it, which will basically turn it into actual pixel data, and I'm gonna scale it down, do that, and then scale it back up. Oh, come on. Come on. Here we go. Scale it back up. Yep, all the data is basically gone. So when I'm placing these references, keep them as smart objects, because that will basically preserve the resolution. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and actually just get back in here. Let's see. No, I don't want to draw on the rasterized object. Okay, so what else was there? I mean, shit. I mean, we are at the concept art stage, so right at this point, this is where all the ideas are coming in. I mean, the point of concept art is to take out as much work out of 3D modeling. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just do that. So what I've seen, and I'm guilty of this myself, what I see a lot of people do is, a lot of developers do, is they will basically start a game development project and they will go, okay, so I'm making a level, a game that takes place within a subway station. So they would say, okay, so they will create a level, a blank level, and they would say, okay, in this corner I need a bench. So they would go into like Maya and they would start 3D modeling a bench. And then they would go to the Photoshop and they would get, you know, textures of wood and textures of metal, like iron, and they would make a texture for it. After they make a texture, they texture the model, they put that model into the engine, and they put it in the corner. And afterwards they go, okay, done. What else do I need? Okay, I need that garbage can, and then it's just rinse and repeat. And the problem is that that method will get you burnt out very, like, scarily quickly. Like, you will lose interest in your own project faster than you'll, like, get a demo done. Which is why most of the stuff should be drawn in the concept art stage. Because then you're not thinking of how to design, you know, the bench. You just create it. A lot of these dirty lines from the sketches. Oh, 1 second. Okay, so let's get this stuff out of here. See, now I really crashed a little bit. Whoops. Oh yeah, that didn't really work. You know what? Let's go inside 2 pixels. Yeah, that's fine. Ah, shit, actually. It's the, that's right. It's the whatchamacallit. The anti-aliasing is not taking place with this kind of with a stroke effect, so that's just screw it. I think it should be just fine. I can do this though. I can just cheat, kind of just draw my lines down there. Yeah. Might as well take advantage of digital painting tools. Here we go. Now I'm going to take my pen tool and make a straight line over here so that I can see where it is located. So the bottom of this line is over there. And let me go ahead and take this over there. You know, I should really actually use a trace layer. So this is the trace layer and this is the base layer. Actually, the fact that they're named very similarly is going to pose a problem. So this is the guide layer, I'd say. So the guide layer is going to be made purely of, let me take a blue color here. So the guide layer is going to be purely for guidelines. The main problem is just remembering to switch between the two. Oh, and colors as well. Okay, so I mean, I probably have to repeat the same rail types across each one. Once again, I just carried away with details. I really should work on that. Let's see. So, I would need the little. My battery's dying. Hell no. Hell no, you're not dying on me now, bitch. You are not dying on me now. Absolutely not. Let's just ease up on the... Okay, so what I want to do is actually want to repeat... I want to repeat the position as well as repeat the height. Of this piece. So the whole thing would have to start about there, but since I know that it doesn't have to go through the lines, here we go. Now the height of this, so here's how I can actually trace the height. And this is the benefit of doing 1-point perspective. So what I can do is I can do this, then this, and trace it back over here. So that means this is the line, the bottom line of the sign. So if I can do the same thing with the top part, and that would be the top part of the sign. Now, once again, we have a tangent line going over there. Not very preferable, but preferable, whatever. Yeah. And let's do this. And we can do this. So now virtually, this sign should be at the same height as the other piece. Now, the only thing is this bar doesn't quite match. Let's see, so if I do this, that works. If I do this, then this is where the thing is supposed to start. And that is where it's supposed to end at this height. So something is very wonky here with the perspective. Oh, and I guess I know why. This bit is a little off. Oh well. We're in the general ballpark. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get this sign in the right place. There we go. And I can just follow the perspective lines here in this case. There we go. That's all I really needed. Now then. Let me grab some more references. Old subway. Ooh, wait, hold on. I just saw a subway entrance. Okay, this thing actually needs to go, and this one. Also take this thing. And ooh, this one looks interesting. Okay, but anyways, I'll take this and save it. Let's go ahead and go back to the folder. Go. This would have to be locations. Oh, they even have a metal fan up there. Holy shit. It makes you wonder how long did it take before one of those things decapitated someone. They filed the lawsuit. Ooh, alright. So let me just go ahead and just fix this perspective line because it's kind of wonky. Now I could either do that or I could fix this line here. So just place it back there and fix this line here. So that means that is the true top ceiling of that station. Actually, no. I just realized why that line is there, because this is the actual ceiling. That's right, because this is supposed to be a decorative, like a decorative pad, like an iron cast with ornaments on it. Okay. Now then. Huh. Okay, well, as a sketch, once again, I'm gonna have to get into these references. So, old subway station. Just to see how these things look like. Actually go up here. How about instead of old, I go like 60s subway station. Wow. You go from 60s to 70s, and that's the one decade to start seeing graffiti start popping up in every abandoned like, look at this. Look at this shit. Holy nuggets. This is ridiculous. Oh well. I guess maybe I should say 70s theater instead of 70s subway. Okay, now what I'm looking for is a very specific tone, because I know that if anything, that will have like a brown in it. There we go. There we go. It's perfect. So let's say something like this. Okay, so let me let's go ahead and What I really want to see, if I want to see if adding something like a divider across the top side of the wall, and the bottom part would be brown and the top part would be kind of more bricky, so to speak. Go ahead and actually go over here with this guide. So that means this would be the top part of that line. Okay. All right. Oh yeah, and I have to keep in mind that these two... Oh shit, I just realized why the two sides didn't align. It's because this wall is not on the same level as this wall. At least, well, at least it's supposed to have been, so that's kind of weird. So let me see if I can extend a line there. There we go. Let me get rid of all this garbage. All of this garbo. Let's see, so this is the top rail over here. Right over there. So this means that this line should have been over there, and so let me see if I can actually save a path here. I'm not sure if you can. The reason, let me actually Google this. Okay, open paths dialog. Gotcha. Paths dialog. Okay, so this is where work path is selected. Apply the save path command. Okay. And there's the save path. So this will be the focal, no. Vanishing point. Okay, I think that's, there we go. Okay, so that actually saved it. So I'm gonna delete this. And I believe if I see new, delete path. So if I delete this, then I should be able to load path. Vanishing point, yes. Huh, interesting. So that was a complete load of nothing. Yes, vanishing point. Path 1. And let me draw the path now. So do that and that. I think I'm just going crazy. I think I'm just going batshit insane. Oh well. I'll just I'll try to do my best to not delete this path. Oh well. See how this works out. So here's what I have to do. I can either go batshit insane, trying to clean this mess up, or I could trace it on top, which will probably take equal amount of time to do. Oh god, this bench is pissing me off. This bench is just ugly as hell. Get out of here. Get out of here. Here we go. There we go. Oof. Well, honestly, at this point, I'm not really sure where to go from here. Actually, no. I gotta do this the proper way. Let's just kind of speculate that the line is actually over there. So now I'm gonna need to draw another path that matches this path. And after I've done so, I'm gonna have to take this, no, take the path, here we go, and lower the entire thing to, let's say about over there. That's actually almost the equal distance. So if I do that, then I need to add a point over there and get rid of the point over here. So stroke this path and let's lower this entire thing down a bit and stroke this path. Maybe even just lift it up a tiny bit. No, not fill. Stroke. Here we go. So these are the transport rails. So let me go ahead and actually get rid of these lines. In fact, Should be able to just do this. Get rid of those. I will also have to get rid of this. Obviously, we'll have to get rid of this too. And take this out. Yeah, that should be fine. So these are the rails. These are the rails indeed. You know what, let's just, put some handiwork into this. I don't want to make harsh lines. Huh. You know, actually, if I'm doing this, I might as well actually use the perspective points. Like, do that, with the perspective point. Right. Actually, let me, in fact, go ahead and since I'm here, take the eraser and have at it with this perspective point. Here we go. So this means that all I have to do is place it at the very center. And then I'll have my perfect perspective. So at least I'm not gonna have to figure out how to save paths. Here we go. So if I bring that over there, oh wow, I was actually kind of on point, sort of, for once. Kind of on point, just a little bit. Okay, so since I've used the trace tool, since I used the trace tool to get those points in there, I figured, might as well. Okay, so let me take this perspective line and go over here. So that line is somewhat correct. However, this line is completely off the grid. And obviously this thing is just way too thick, so I'd say that should actually be a bit more appropriate. Just a tiny bit better. Just a tad. Now, another thing that I know that's off is the back part over here. Because like if this line, this basically is the line where the back side of the mount is supposed to start, so we're technically supposed to see a part of this piece as well. And there it is. So, whoops. Wrong tool. Okay, so this entire shape kind of seems a little too basic. So what I want to do is I want to look into searching for examples of machinery. And I'm going to start with images. Okay, so right off the bat we got some interesting stuff, but nothing that I actually need. Okay, so how about cranes? Not the birds. There we go. Okay. Obviously, leaving these things as giant pieces of metal is not very attractive. So let's see if something a bit more. Okay, I'm gonna have to come up with that stuff for sure. So let me just quickly put in these connector bars. There we go. And okay, so I'm gonna have to actually extend. No, actually, you know what? I don't have to extend anything. What I'm gonna do is just gonna do this. Do that, put it at a roughly same distance as the other one. Maybe just fill in the gap. And put in another connector line. Oh. Here we go. So that works, and the connector lines have the suspension bars. Holding them. Here we go. Say something like this. Here we go. So that actually does the job. Let me turn off these guides. Let me get rid of some of these God knows what lights. All right. This place is kind of starting to come together. Now, get rid of this. Let me just improve this line. Get this line here. Oh. Here we go. All right, now let me get this frickin' bench in. And this time I'm actually going to do this on a separate layer. It's okay. So let's see. So if this is the size of the guy, the reference model, then let me position the bench like right over here. This is the size of the bench. Now, I think the wisest choice would be to probably encase it in a box before I can proceed with this. Probably like this. Just a little bit. Okay, so if the height of the guy is like right about there, that's the knee, then I'd say the bench seat should be there. And the bench rest should be there. Okay, I think this is the one. I think this may be the one. Okay, so that's fine. Now I do have a reference of this specific bench that I wanted to use. It's right over here. This one. So it has the middle part, and it's got the 3 pairs of legs, and obviously separate pieces. So let me sketch this in. So we've got the little bar over there, some ornaments, and the 2 legs sticking out from the side. I'm probably gonna have to go a little bit outside of the box, the boundaries of the box. Here we go. And let's just sketch this in here. Okay, I mean that kind of works out pretty well. So let me go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Actually, I think this has, well, this should have just a little bit more of a curve. Here we go. Okay. This is actually turned out fairly well. Now then, straight lines, my worst enemy. Here we go. Gotta learn somehow. Oh. Okay, let me try to actually rotate this tablet a little bit. See, this is the problem with using tablets. It's just, you can't rotate paper. Like, you can rotate it. You cannot rotate a tablet like you rotate a paper. Ugh. Because with paper, you're looking at a paper. With a tablet, you gotta retrain your muscle in a matter of seconds to get used to the thing. So here's what I'm gonna do. Let's just at least suggest that there's wood there. Here we go. Now, as far as this goes, I'm going to go ahead and actually place, yes, place the file. Park bench. And of course it's reacting to the points first. Here we go. Position that over there. Oh yeah, that's right. That is correct. I totally forgot about the middle support. So we go over here, drop this up here. This is the bench. Here we go. And then do that. Now, as far as this goes, let me go ahead and I might as well just place the reference for the streetcar that I liked. Let's see, streetcars, trams. So the one that I liked was, I think, this one. Yes. Which is a pretty pixelated rendition, first, and second of all, it is someone's model, which is not the best way to learn how to draw something. If you want to draw something, get source material. Don't use someone else's art, because someone else's art is someone else's interpretation, and that is just not good. That is just no bueno. So if I want to use this as a reference, I mean, this is a pretty well designed 3D model, so this is kind of why I can sort of, you know, break my own rule there. So what I want to do is actually want to kind of fix this tram a little bit. So if I take a look at if I go with the guide, I mean, the real... Whoops, I said the guide. Here we go. So the bottom part of the staircase and the top part of the roof, this is the true length. So that's from here to here. So technically the beginning of this break, this red versus yellow paint job, starts a little bit higher than halfway point, so it would probably have to start here. So my initial sketch was way off, which is why I'm gonna have to go to the base and fix that now. Let me actually do this as a single stroke. There we go, and let me get this perspective line so that I can see. And probably gonna have to, well, there's so much garbage in here that it's just easier to redraw this light. Now, in the guide layer, do this. I would still like to define that there is a curve there. Now, how much of a curve is there in this thing? Like a lot of curve. Like way a lot, so I think it starts right here and it ends right here, which is like, and if this is the midpoint, then this line is very misleading. At this point, it's actually easier to redraw the front. There's no sense in keeping most of this stuff here. So, if I go in the base, let me actually just kind of sketch this beforehand. So if we have see, these windows are really tiny, which means that the actual window doesn't start until like right here. And then we've got another window here, which is okay, so this is the shape, at least the skeleton. Okay, so which means that this would have to be the light. In fact, I actually kind of want to make it a bit bigger and a little bit higher. There we go. Now, as a part of the sketch, I guess I should probably actually get this in here. So I'll take this perspective. I'll switch my attention to this line, which is actually supposed to be the other part of the railing, which is right over here. So with these railings, actually I kind of want to switch the color for this just so that I could tell the difference. So let me switch the hue to maybe green. I want to differentiate the lines. So there's two railings over here like this. And then obviously there's the end of the rail, which in fact this thing is supposed to be like this. So let me get this reference line and this reference line here. This is a pretty thick railing actually. I mean, compared to what we have here. I guess it's the top part that's a little bit off, so it'll have to be red over here. Now, these hanging elephant penises are not very attractive for railings, so I think more like that. So, should be one over in the middle. And finally, in order to connect these two, the thing is they would connect like right over here. Which means that this perspective line is just just a little bit off. But then again, these were kind of drawn with multiple created perspective lines. I had to delete and create this thing several times before I had the precise, 4 pixel point there. So it's kind of, understandable that this thing is a little off. Here we go. Do it with this. Okay. Okay, well, I think for now this is reasonable. I just need to take a quick break. My eyes are... I need to kind of adjust to the shenanigans that I've been drawing up until this point, so I'm going to go ahead and resume the stream in just a little while.